Legalizing drugs? That's the message a new billboard in the metro is advertising.
And you might be surprised to hear who's funding it all. John Jordan joins us now with more on the story. John?
Well, the group funding the billboard is actually comprised of current and former law enforcement officers. But there are other law enforcement officials who don't support what the group is doing, and they want to make that very clear. It sits just off of the off-ramp of the Broadway extension near Wilshire. A billboard advertising the need to legalize drugs in a way the group behind the ad says helps spread its message.
It's visible and people see it, and it elicits a response out of people, positive or negative.
Wes Johnson is one of 10,000 members of the organization called Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, also known as LEAP. Officers using the badge to make their message more credible.
Every speaker that comes out of LEAP is either a current law enforcement officer or a former law enforcement officer who's worked the streets, worked the drug war, and knows how ineffective and totally insane it is.
I'd personally like to see the billboard go away.
Mark Woodward is with the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics. He not only disagrees with their message, but those behind it.
It's giving people, whether it's parents or kids, the wrong impression that the police support legalization of drugs, and that's absolutely not the truth.
He says any real police officer could not support legalizing drugs.
Anybody that has seen how drug addiction forces children to live in deplorable conditions would never come out and support this. In fact, they would continue to do everything they could to stop this.
But regardless of what people do to try and stop the spread of messages like this one, Johnson says at some point it won't matter.
It will have cost the governments of the various states and the federal government so much money that we're so close to bankruptcy that we'll have to do something about it.
Now, I did ask Johnson if he feels their billboard helps move the country to legalizing drugs. Well, surprisingly, he said no. He says only when the state gets legislators with half a brain will drugs be legalized. Amanda?
All right, John, and this is the second billboard the group has used to spread its message. The first one was in Nebraska last year.